You bringing it up?
The form.
Thank you. FA is there? Right here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your song is already.
Thanks, baby. Appreciate it. I think this is on. Yeah, that was a mistake. Okay. Alrighty, Tink. I'm gonna.
I'm gonna hit record.
Yeah. So go ahead.
The recording has started.
Boom, 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 boom. Ooh. I used to be a Dino newbie until I watched Frank's UB2B. With a twinkle in his eyes and God by his side, Frank's teachings reaches far and wide. So whenever I need a Dino fix, I tune into Frank26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the street. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the Dino beat. Now take it from me, Frank is no rookie. It's okay, Tink, give this man a cookie.
Not yet.
You never know what suit he'll be wearing, so I wear my sunglasses because they are so glaring. So whenever I need a Dino fix, I tune into Frank26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the street. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the Dino beat. Sit up, be patient, and get ready. Frank's got some news from Walking Stick and Eddie. Frank breaks down the news and keeps us straight. Come on, Iraqi, can you give us the rate? So whenever I need a Dino fix, I tune into Frank26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the street. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the Dino beat. Hey Tink, I need a cookie.
Oh, really?
Come on, Tink, I deserve some cookies.
Yeah.
Cookies, cookies, cookies. Come on, Tink, give up the cookies. Greetings, family. Welcome to another one of your Frank26 UB2Bs. We are KTFalways.com, which stands for Keep the Faith Always in Our Heavenly Father. Before we do anything, we go to God's throne room. Will you join me? Abba, sweet Abba, Heavenly Father, it's so good to be with you once again in your throne room by the blood of your Son, Jesus, through the Holy Spirit. I am humbled to be with you.
I ask for strength. I ask for understanding and wisdom that we can communicate, that we can share, that we can help, that we can explain the things that are in our opinions for tonight. Be with our sponsors. Give them the enlightenment that they need, Father, to teach us tonight about these beautiful products that you have brought to us. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for everything. And Papa, there are many people that I talk to that have trials and tribulations in their lives right now. Some cry with joy, and some cry with pain. But I pray for these people, Papa, that you send me and that I talk to on the telephone. I will tell them, Father. I will tell them that the mountains that are before them were put there by you so that they could see that they could overcome these mountains with you. In the precious name of your Son, Jesus, by the Holy Spirit, I pray, amen, amen, amen. Is Andy with us?
No.
No worries, family. I'm on actually a few minutes early on purpose. We're going to have our advertisements today, which is going to be Will. Will is going to talk to us and about Protandim. We also have a testimony. In fact, I came on a little early on purpose because I wanted to throw a curveball. Will you join me in the final article thread? Will you join me in the final article thread? And we were together on the 16th, and yesterday was the 17th. Therefore, join me in final article number 4,490. You see, everybody comes at the very end, don't they? So I just thought I'd do a little bit something different because I want to tell you, I want to show you something. Because when we're done with our advertisements today, I want to show you something too. Okay. And this will set it all up. Final article number 4,490. Apple delegation suggests to al-Sudani to register the company's phones in Iraq. What do I say up on top? We told you, family, we told you, KTFA, that the phones will play an important part in the monetary reform education. When you read this article, you'll say, by George, Frank was right. Final article number 4,491. Al-Nasari identifies the challenges facing Iraqi private banks and opportunities for banking reforms. That's a lot of big words, but listen to what I say up on top. What's the blue title? The banking reform has been successful for the economic reform. This is the report. Therefore, behold and read it and just bask in it. Just be happy in the things that you're about to read. In fact, watch. Look, here's the article. You see it? There you go. And I want you to pay attention to, look what I did. From this point all the way down. Look at that. It's all red. It's all blown up 5 times, and it is red. Why? Well, what's the title say? One more time. Let's just look at it. Al-Nasari identifies the challenges facing Iraqi private banks and opportunities for banking reform. Banking reform, monetary reform. Is that what I'm reading here? And what do I say up on top? The banking reform, the monetary reform, has been successful for the economic reform. This is the report. You're a good student. You're good students. You're going to read this, aren't you? Final art, and then you'll rejoice when you read all those points at the you'll see. Final article number 4,492. Our country's dream. Our country's dream. Our country's dream. I have a dream. Well, let me see. For Iraq, Sudani also has a dream. Our country's dream, al-Sudani, sends an important message to Gulf states regarding the path to development. Well, I'll be darned. Sudani, you send a message to who? Everybody. Really, I noticed that all these countries pouring in. I saw what Russia did today. So, Sudani, what did you tell them? I sent them an important message. About what? About the path of our developments. What have you developed? Our monetary reform and now our economic reform with their help. Oh, must have been a good speech, huh? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. What do I say up on top? What's the blue title? It says, and, let's read this one more time, but our country's dream. Al Sudani sends an important message to Gulf states regarding the path to development. And what do I say up on top? And the message says, no more program rate, no more restrictions. By the way, everything that I share with you tonight is strictly in my opinion. My name is Frank26, in my opinion. Today is Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday, or Sunday, in my opinion. Yeah, the sky is blue, in my opinion. Go on to the next article, find article number, oh, wait a minute, that's it, okay. Let's see, our country president. Yeah. Is Claire with us?
No.
Okay. I think what happened was that we don't have today's articles up. No, we don't. What a shame. So with that in mind, here, real quick, very, very quickly, is Will with us now?
Yes.
Okay, Will, give me like 1 more minute. Make it 2 more minutes. Because what I'm doing right now, Will, is I'm really very quickly. Hey, by the way, Walking Stick sent the information. We got to look at it tonight, okay?
Andy's there.
Andy's now here. Tell him to blow the shofar. Family, I'm going to have Andy blow that shofar because I already prayed. And I already went over 5 or 6 final articles. And I'm going to cover a few more in just a second. Andy, blow the shofar, brother.
Yes, sir. All right.
Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, Andy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to introduce Will and Dr. Rich and a guest with a testimony. But before I do that, I'm covering these articles for a good reason. You see, I'm preparing you for when we're done with our commercial. I'm going to tell you something about these articles. It'll come from Eddie. Well, welcome, Erica. Welcome. Post number 18, and by the way, you don't have these in the final article thread. Claire will put them up later on today. Post number 18, Central Bank Governor. Hey, you know what? Hit refresh. This might have already been put up. Post number 18, Central Bank Governor. We have put in place methods to secure the provisions of the dollar and are subject to strict supervision. So the governor of the CBI says you put in some strict methods to secure what? The exchange rate of what? The dollar. Now that's interesting. So you have restrictions. I mean, you don't use the dollar no more. No, we don't. And now you're putting in place methods to secure the provisions of dollars? Yes, we are. Well, that's rather interesting. And you told us to the Iraqi citizens, right? Is that it right there? Oh, we did refresh. Good. That was final article number 4,492. Our country's, oh no, that's the one that I just did. No, they're not up. Okay. I'm sorry, family. No, they're not up. Alrighty, so go, and now let me quickly go. So I just read to you what he just said, remember? And it is a good article. Look, at the very bottom, he explained that the decline in the price of oil has nothing to do with the rise in the exchange rate because Iraq has foreign currency reserves that enabled it to defend the exchange rate. I wish that I still had the old format so I can sit here and explain all of this to you, but I'm pointing it out to you. Now go study. Post number 22. Do other gurus explain articles to you? I don't know. I know they read them to you. Post. Behave, right? Okay. All right. Post 22 is, post 22 is the decline question. Is the decline in the oil prices related to the rise in the exchange rate? Now, this is the second article back to back that's talking about the exchange rate. The exchange rate of what? Read it again. Is the decline in the oil prices related to the rise in the exchange rate? What are you talking about? Well, it is a lot. The governor of the CBI that comes out and he talks to the Iraqi citizens and he tells them, hey, the price of oil, okay, up and down, it has nothing to do with the rise of the exchange rate. Of the Iraqi dinar? No, of the dollar. Oh, back to the dollar again? Yeah. So why 2 articles back to back? Why are you emphasizing this? You know why, Brian. Final article, the next one is 24. The Judicial and State Council confirms that the governor of the Central Bank of Iraq is subject to the legal retirement age. When you see it in final articles, it's going to say LOL, 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 dot, 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 dots. Give it up. Now, once again, Parliament is trying to find a way to get rid of Iraq. Why? Because Iraq is working with Sudani for the monetary reform for the citizens of Iraq. They don't want that. Got it? Good. And I believe there's one more article. No, that was it. Alrighty, so I have given you a precursor. I have set up the stage. We're talking about the exchange rate an awful lot, aren't we? Okay, so with that in mind, keep that in the back of your head. And now let us focus and pay attention to Dr. Rich, Will, and our testimony guest star that we have tonight. Will, are you there, brother?
I am here. I am here. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. The floor is
I'm
yours.
excited about the new stuff going on in Iraq, that's for sure.
It is. Yes, it is.
Well, folks, this will be our last call for September. And I just wanted to bring over a guest with us this evening, and Dr. Rich. And I want you to get a pencil and piece of paper, because we're going to introduce a new product to you tonight. And I'm sure that you're going to want to know more about it. So I want you to get your number, a number and the email, so that you can write me and say, add me to the VIP list. It's free to be on the VIP list. Okay, here we go. 910-690-6008. The email address is always saving 77 at gmail.com. Now, the new product that we're going to be announcing is exciting. It's something we've been waiting on for about 5 years, and the industry doesn't have anything like it. And it's not going to be coming out until October the 11th. We don't even know the name of it yet. It's being very, very closely held to the vest. But anyway, with all that being said, you've got the number and the email. Just write or text or call and say, put me on the VIP list, Frank's VIP list. Dr. Rich is with us again this evening. He is a naturopath. He's been a naturopath now for over 30 years. And he's seen well over 70,000 customers, patients, over the length of time he's been a naturopath and been retired with our company. So with those two eras of his life put together, he's talking about 70,000. Anyway, I want to bring him on. He's going to introduce our special guests. And hope y'all have fun on the call tonight. I'll be back then. Okay? God bless you. Dr. Rich, you with me?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Will was breaking.
5 by 5.
Will.
Okay.
Will.
Well, again, Frank, it's such a pleasure to do this. But, brother, I'll tell you what. I have talked to so many of your family members this month that I feel like my phone's growing out of my ear. And it has been a distinct pleasure to serve you and your wife and your community by teaching people what they need to do to take control of their health. So thank you very, very much, Frank, for doing that. And before I introduce somebody that, before I introduce the person that's coming on to talk a little bit here in the next couple of minutes, I just want to say this. There are diseases that people call me about all the time, even though I don't work with them. I don't work with diseases. I don't diagnose them. I don't treat them. But I do use the naturopathic model and get the body to work well so that the body overcomes the symptoms of what they've been diagnosed with. But one of the things that I have to deal with on a regular basis, and it is just so difficult for some people, is they cannot, some people, no matter what they do, they cannot lose weight. And they're miserable. They want to. They have tried things. They've spent a lot of money and they just can't do it. Well, I'm going to attend to that because Lifevantage, as Will said, next month is going to be introducing an innovative system for sustainable weight loss that I'm really, really, really excited about. But before I do that and take 10 or 15 minutes with these issues that I deal with on a regular basis and show you without a doubt that we do have a solution for these problems, and they're validated on PubMed.gov, the leading medical research site, the most prestigious, the most respected site for the peer-reviewed research studies that are available in the medical profession and for the general public to review. So before I do that, I want to introduce someone to you. And I had this week the distinct pleasure. It was such a good time to speak with this fellow and get to know him. And I really feel like I've known him my whole life. He's such an easy person to talk with and like-minded. And I want to introduce to you and give him, say, 5 minutes to say what he wants to say about himself or a testimony-related situation or whatever he wants to say. I'm not twisting his arm in any way, but I'm going to introduce to you and welcome to the floor somebody that I'm going to call Dr. Steve. And Dr. Steve, if you are there, come on in and introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and everybody will see why I was so excited to speak with this man.
Thank you, Dr. Rich. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I started my naturopathic practice in 1972, and it's been a very, very interesting ride. I officially retired in 2008 and have never worked so hard in my life after I retired. But going back, I had the very first 2 naturopathic AIDS clinics in the world, one in Dallas, one in Toronto, Canada. I had 2 cancer clinics open under my protocols, one in Mexico, one in the Dominican Republic. I had my own radio show for quite a while on a good Christian station. And I took a short hiatus, but for 2 years I was president of the health company and took their products international using my formulation, so on and so forth. But what I've noticed over time is that people have been so brainwashed as to, relying on things that don't work. I go back to Genesis 1:29. Genesis 29, I think so. I have given you every herb-bearing seed, and so on and so forth. It's a beautiful statement. We have a tremendous immune system, and it's unfortunate that people destroy their immune systems not realizing it. They do it through bioengineered foods, listening to the propaganda that is put on constantly. Take this drug and then take another drug to compensate for that when people don't listen to the side effects of these drugs. Every drug has a side effect. And if you nurture yourself, just like Dr. Rich said, I don't diagnose, I don't treat, but herbs don't work, things don't work. But what a good doctor will do is do everything in their power to make sure that the human body heals itself, because the power of the immune system is so great that it can overcome probably all natural illnesses. I'm not talking about chemical illnesses. I'm talking about natural illnesses. And the products that are being presented are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And this is the first time I've ever endorsed anybody's products, ever, in the 52 years that I've been a naturopath. And prior to that, I was in the medical field. But 52 years, I have never endorsed anything. These products are fantastic. And getting back to the immune system, I don't know if people realize how powerful their bodies are. You have trillions, 20, 30 trillion cells in your body. Each cell, this is scientifically proven, each cell has 1.03 volts of electricity. Just think of how powerful our systems are to overcome everything. Unfortunately, because of diet and certain lifestyles and taking medications, we've weakened that immune system. So if each cell is like a little battery, and now they're working at half-life or less.
Little
and that's
battery.
where illness comes in through inflammation
Little batteries, I
and
like that.
weakening of the immune system. So, let me know when my 5 minutes are up, because I can go on for hours.
You go right ahead and talk, sir. Don't worry.
Thank you. So to take care of your bodies, your diet has to be right. Your nutrients, which we don't find in our foods. You know, you go into a grocery store and devitalized foods are everywhere. You know, I tell people that I take care of, you know, if you're going to go to the grocery store, shop the outer aisles, don't go the outer perimeter of the store, don't go in the centers, unless you're getting toilet paper or napkins or whatever you need. Even the fruits and vegetables, now they've got something that they spray on fruits and vegetables. I think it's called Appeal. It's put out by somebody. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention Bill Gates' name, but I
It's
won't.
okay.
Anyhow, this is a preservative. You know, fruits and vegetables are grown today to preserve shelf life, not to give nutrients. So again, getting back to Lifevantage, these nutrients help us tremendously. And myself personally, I just started. Now, whether what I'm going to say is psychosomatic or not is irrelevant. It happened to me. I've been on it for 3 days. And sometimes in the mornings, I like to procrastinate a little bit before I get started. Well, I took this, and within a very short period of time, I was second watering my fruit trees. I did a weight workout. Now, I'm disabled, and I did a weight workout. I also had that night I had a dream. By the way, I took care of all of my business calls and everything else. And this was before 9 o'clock in the morning. And I started thinking my energy level was just peaked. And that night, I went to bed. I slept like a baby for the first time in a while. And I had a dream that I could walk without a cane or without any assistance. And I was walking in my dreams. The next day, when I woke up later on, I had an incident here that I had to move very quickly. And I realized, hey, where's my cane? I was walking without my cane. Now, I'm not saying that taking what I took for 3 days actually did that, but it helped. Now, something that I tell the people that I take care of, and I mentioned maybe it was psychosomatic or not, 90% of healing is in the brain. And people being so brainwashed that they don't realize that, how powerful their mind is. People go around saying, I don't feel good, I this, I'm that, I have this cold, I have that cold, I have this sickness, and so on. Well, they're just compounding their illness. Their brain is telling their body, hey, that's the way it is. So all the cells are going to start acting like that. You have to do just the opposite. You have to go around saying you feel good, you have happy cells. I had somebody the other day, first stage dementia. She's a delightful lady. Her full family came to me, and I told her, I said, before they left, I said, here's what I want you to do. As the day progresses, starting right now, I want you to tell yourself with a happy tone, like you could actually sing it, like I have happy cells. I want you to do that all day long. And I found out her daughter called me and said she was doing it all day long and she felt great. So your mind, your spirit, Holy Spirit, God has his hand on you. Your mind controls your body, but you've got to put in positive thoughts, good thoughts, no negative thoughts. You are healed. And with the nutrients that you're taking, you know that they're going to work because they're good products. Like I said, I've never endorsed a product in my life, except for this one. So, I'm also a Vietnam vet. So I was in Nam for 2.5 years.
Thank you, sir.
Straight combat. And that was not fun. But I'm a life member of the VFW too. So now you know my life. I'm happily married. I've been married for 36 years. I mentioned this to, I think Frank the other day. We have a dog that's 25 years, next month.
Was that you?
Yes. Yes. She's 25 years old next month. And I'm going to start giving her Protandim.
Give her pet tandem.
Pet tandem.
Yeah, pet tandem.
All right.
We'll talk about that.
Okay, Dr. Rich, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. And, I have situations here at home. I'm to be perfectly honest. My wife, who, like I said, been married, I'll be 36 years in January. January 31st. Had an accident many years ago. I won't go into detail, but she hasn't been the same since. And we're going to be working on that too. She's sitting right next to me as we speak. And that's something that I'm so looking forward to. I'm so looking forward to it. But I want to say to the KTF family, which I'm a member of, God bless all of you, and thank you for putting up with me. I love all of you. That's all. I love you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Dr. Rich, it's all yours.
Stick around, Dr. Steve, because I may ask you to interject in a little bit here in the future in relation to what I'm going to say, which I need about 10 or 12 minutes, but you may be just chomping at the bit with your background, and it's just so wonderful, and we're going to work with your wife, and she's going to improve. That's all I'm going to say. I'll say it that way. We'll be real conservative in that communication.
I take
But
good
with all
people
of that, thank you for coming on the podcast tonight, and we're going to talk many, 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 many times, and we're going to work together and help as many people as we possibly can. And I'm certainly looking forward to that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So much.
You are welcome. Well, with all of that, I'll tell you what, I am as equally excited about what Lifevantage is going to introduce next month. Folks, I don't know if any of you, maybe some of you have taken this medication called Ozempic, but if you've ever seen anyone, and I have, lots of them, that have taken it and they lost a lot of weight, but folks, they look ravaged, and there's a reason for it. There's a lot of side effects, and it destroys the performance of the gut, and the gut biome is pretty much destroyed to rob Peter to pay Paul to get this to work, and oh my goodness, their skin sags. Their energy has been depleted. They have aches and pains. We could go on and on and on. I'm not on here.
Now we're talking about the prescription medication Ozempic.
Yes, exactly.
We're not talking about our new product.
Right. The drug uses a synthetic GLP-1 hormone. And folks, everybody has their own GLP-1. We have a different and uniquely created genome, which is different from everybody else's. And our GLP-1, that hormone is different. But we utilize a different approach to activating the GLP-1 hormone, and it is truly, my goodness, as I'm learning about this, it is truly an innovative system for sustainable weight loss. It is an activator, just like NRF1, NRF2, and just like Protandim NAD Synergizer. And what does it do? It targets the genes that activate GLP-1, the GLP-1 hormone, and this is what really floats my boat. It deactivates or deregulates the gene that breaks down GLP-1, and that gene is not going to make any sense to anybody, but it's DPP-4. That gene, DPP-4, is one of the reasons why people are walking around carrying all this extra weight. Now, if that is you, then if you want to get ready for next month and you want to be at your normal weight, well, first and foremost, you can start by eating right for your blood type. That is guaranteed to help you to start maximizing your metabolism and starting to lose weight. But if you want to get ready and you're not utilizing these formulations, you can activate your cells and increase your gene expression by activating NRF2 transcription factor, which means getting that NRF2 protein from the outer wall at a receptor site to the nucleus and activating those 20 to 35,000 genes that take place in there. And if you want, as Dr. Steve mentioned, those cells have power, and they diminish that power diminishes when we get older. You could get the NRF1 protein from the receptor site to the cytoplasm and power up all the cells. Make those mitochondria like you were 10 years of age. And the important factor is, if you really want this new activation formula, and we don't even know what it's called yet, as Will said, your gut's got to work. So if you're one that's out there that you go more than a day or lots of days without a bowel movement, get in touch with Will, and he'll give you my number, and I'll teach you how to fix that very quickly. And maybe you might want to consider putting some good bacteria in there, creating a good balance of flora in that gut biome with ProBio. It's a single capsule, and it, over 10 hours, if you take it on an empty stomach, introduces good, very beneficial bacteria to the gut that starts to normalize its function. Now, the drug, Ozempic, destroys that gut function and the relationship and the communication between the gut and the brain. And that is certainly not good. But you don't have to believe me. You can do your research on that medication and look up the side effects, and there's a lot of them. Go watch the commercial on TV and listen to the side effects at the end of the commercial. The great news about this new formula, activation formula, that actually activates a person's GLP-1, their individualized GLP-1 that is part of their individualized genome, and it's different, then it's going to be a good idea to maximize the performance of your gut. So we can do that between now and then, and if you want my help, I'm obviously here to do it, and I will help you with that. But You know, why is this going to be so incredible? Well, compared to the medication, it's dirt cheap. Okay, and a lot of people don't like to take the drugs. I hear it all the time. I'm sure Dr. Steve does too. And a lot of people, oh my goodness gracious, don't like needles. They don't like that. It hurts. They don't. People just tell me I'll do anything not to have to go through that process. And that's not involved with this. And the high cost of the drug versus this. So it's a win-win-win situation. So stay in touch. If you want to be on a list to know exactly when it's available, and you want my help or Will's help or Frank's help in getting to the point where you are slim and trim again and down to your normal weight. Diabetes is rampant. One of the reasons is because of this thing called obesity or too much weight or metabolic syndrome, all the extra weight around the middle. Let's get it out of your life and improve your health. You'll look better. You'll feel better. Your self-esteem will be better. And Frank and Will and Dr. Steve, I get calls all the time from people for help with this. And we get them there. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but we get them there if they're willing to be responsible to do what's necessary. With this, we're going to make it easy. It's an activation formula that simply activates your body to function the way the good Lord created it to function when you were young and vibrant and thin and going like crazy and full speed. We can get you back to there. So with all of that, I'm going to switch gears for just a minute, and then we're going to open up to questions. I just need just a few minutes. But the four issues that people call me about the most, 80 to 85% of the people call because they have cancer, they have diabetes, they have arthritis, or they have heart disease. So I'm going to deal very briefly with three of them. And let's start with cancer. Well, that's the dreaded one. People are all so concerned about that when they hear that diagnosis from the doctor. Oh, and Dr. Steve, I agree with you in this respect. I hear people call me and they say, the doctor said I have five or 6 months to live. Well, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. That when a doctor says that, they issue a death warrant, that person starts looking at the calendar and they start dying. Because that's what they believe in their mind. Well, what we do is we try to give people hope. We don't have any guarantees, but we're just going to say, we're going to work with this. We're going to do everything we can to get that body to work right. Be encouraged. Many people before you had no hope, and they're well today, and that is so important to do that. But when people hear that word cancer, they freak out. Well, here's a real brief definition of cancer. It says cancer is a disease in which some of the body cells grow uncontrollably and spread to other parts of the body. Sometimes the orderly process of cell division breaks down and abnormal or damaged cells grow and multiply when they shouldn't. These growing abnormal cells many times produce tumors. And sometimes they're not malignant, but many times they are. Well, we have a formula that is patented, 14 patents, and there are 29 peer-reviewed studies on the most prestigious in the medical research library called PubMed.gov. Well, here, and you can get this information from Will or Frank, my Telegram room, but I have this information and the studies from PubMed.gov in the Telegram room this evening. But here's one of the things it says in one of the research studies about cancer and Protandim NRF2 on PubMed.gov. And I'm going to quote it. It says, one of the major cellular antioxidant responses is the induction of antioxidative and carcinogenic detoxification enzymes through the cytoplasmic oxidative stress system, NRF2-keep1, which is activated by a variety of natural and synthetic chemopreventative agents. Now, what does chemopreventative mean? Chemopreventative means the use of substances to lower the risk of developing cancer or to prevent it from ever returning again. This is an incredible research study related to cancer in using Protandim NRF2 to activate that person's cells and increase their gene expression. So this is not some supplement or some Me Too type of formula. It is not a supplement. It is an activation formula that took 45 years to create, and all of the research that is available, but it's on PubMed.gov. Now, the second one, and so we have a solution. That's what I'm saying. Don't get all bent out of shape and start thinking negatively. Let's get to work and work together and learn what to do to overcome the symptoms of what you've been diagnosed with. The second one is diabetes. And it says it's a condition that happens when your blood sugar, glucose, is too high. It develops when your pancreas doesn't make enough insulin or any at all, or when your body isn't responding to the effects of insulin properly. If your pancreas isn't making enough insulin or your body isn't using it properly, glucose builds up in your bloodstream, causing high blood sugar levels, which is called hyperglycemia. It can lead to heart disease, nerve damage, and eye issues. And so what does it say at PubMed.gov? And if you can go and do the research about diabetes, there's several research articles. It says NRF2 induction, altered antioxidant, energy consumption, and gluconeogenesis related gene expression, there's that term, in metabolic tissues. Therefore, the KEEP1-NRF2 system is a critical target for, listen to what it says in PubMed.gov, preventing the onset of diabetes. Oh, so that might mean maybe we need to start a little earlier in being concerned about our health and prevent things from happening. And the research article goes on to say, and you can read it for yourself, that this is very beneficial when one has been diagnosed and there's too much insulin in their bloodstream. And the last one, and then we'll go on to questions and answers, is arthritis. And it says that arthritis isn't a single disease. The term refers to joint pain or joint disease, and there are more than 100 types of arthritis. The symptoms, inflammation, swelling, inflammation. Oh, and what we do with activation, the genes recognize it and minimizes inflammation versus taking an anti-inflammatory or a pain medication. But symptoms are inflammation, swelling, pain, stiffness, and diminished range of motion in joints. Some types of arthritis affect the heart, eyes, lungs, kidneys, and skin, as well as the joints. Normally, what is prescribed are anti-inflammatories and pain medications. No issue, no consideration for dealing with diet and hydration and proper elimination or getting the body to overcome the issue. We have a solution for that thing called arthritis in all 100 types. What does it say in PubMed? It says an appropriate expression. This is just a small portion of the whole research article. An appropriate expression and balance of NRF2 is necessary for regulation of oxidative stress, inflammation, immune responses, and cartilage and bone metabolism. Numerous studies have demonstrated that NRF2 and that an NRF2 deficiency aggravates the disease, while NRF2 activation results in immunoregulatory and anti-inflammatory effects. So where do I get this information, and why do I get so excited about when people do the right things and they activate genetic processes in their body and they eat right and hydrate and eliminate properly? Why so many times, and so many of Frank's family members call him up or call me up and say, or like Dr. Steve just said, in 3 days he's seeing a difference. It's because we activate our bodies to function like they were 10 or 15 years old again, and get that genome, the genes, to recognize all the improper performance and issue commands to adjust, upregulate where necessary, downregulate, repair damaged cells, repair damaged DNA, minimize inflammation, minimize fibrosis, rescript the chromosomes, etc., etc. I've used this term so many times. That's called in medicine homeostasis. So let's get your body back to functioning as closely as we can to the way it's supposed to homeostasis, and let's work together and get you to where you want and deserve to be, and maybe healthier even at an older age than you've ever been in your life. So with all of that, the proof is in the pudding. What better place to go to validate these formulas than to PubMed.gov? So with all that, Frank, I'm excited about what we already have, and there's other formulas that we can use for scalp infection or skin issues, or a lot of people use collagen. Oh, well, we never talked about that. Maybe we should sometime. And what we have available there is, with NRF2, is also patented, as well as the Tri-Synergy Pack is patented. NRF2 is protected by 14 patents, 29 medical peer reviews on PubMed.gov. It's quite a prestigious lineup of formulations that are not supplements. They really kind of act like prescription medications, but there aren't side effects. So with all of that, let's open up to questions and see if we can get some people the answers that they want and get them some help.
Doctor, one of the questions that I am bombarded with is that if they cannot afford to buy all three, the NRF1, the NRF2, and the Synergizer, what would you suggest that they at least buy?
That is an excellent question, and I get that question as well. And, you know, when we build a house, Frank, we build the foundation first, and then we layer upon that foundation. We'll put a first floor sometimes, a second floor, sometimes even a third floor, but the foundation's got to be strong, and it's got to be first, and it's got to be able to sustain the extra layers that are put on so that that house, that home, or that building can be functional. Well, the foundational formula is Dr. McCord's formula that took 45 years to create, and all the patents. He was awarded the Elliott Crescent Medal from the Franklin Institute for his research, which is more prestigious than a Nobel Peace Prize in medicine. That formula is Protandim NRF2.
Thank you, sir. Let's see if we can find some questions. Tink, do you see any?
Yes, a guy has been taking NRF2 for 1 week. He has lots of energy in the morning and afternoon, but tired at the end of the day. Can he take that twice a day?
Did you get that, doctor? He's been taking NRF2. Go ahead.
Yes, you can take NRF2 more than once a day, but what I would suggest, and it's the formulas aren't expensive at all in the first place, but they could save a little money, and maybe their solution would be that they activate the mitochondrial genetic pathway and add NRF1, Protandim NRF1 to Protandim NRF2, and power everything up, and that's going to cause them to produce more ATP, which is what causes them to have sustainable energy to get through their day. So yes, number one, they can take an extra NRF2 later, even as late as supper time or midday, but maybe they might want to try to add Protandim NRF1 to the NRF2 at breakfast.
Thank you, sir. Let's see if we can find another one. Donna Critter Mom is saying not all diabetes is weight or related, to overweight. Can this help their sugar issue as well?
If they're not overweight,
It says not all. Not all diabetes is based on weight.
yeah, and that's true. Dr. Steve, what do you think about that?
Hold on. Let's unmute Dr. Steve. Tell me when, Tank.
Yeah.
You're unmuted, sir.
Yeah, I'm here. If you're not overweight, will it help diabetes? Is that a good question?
Yes.
Of course it will. You don't have to be overweight to
Well, the question really was, is it safe? The question really was, is it safe to take NRF2 if it's not that you're dealing with weight loss? Can this still help with their sugar issues?
Of course it is, because you're activating your body's own defenses.
Yeah, that's right. Doctor, go ahead, sir. Dr. Rich had mentioned that it triggers off the ATP energy. ATP family is consistent of over 90 amino acids. It's a complex chain reaction for your metabolism, and the Protandim helps that in the production of the amino acids to help you as well. Let's see, we can. Yes, sir.
And I agree, Dr. Steve, with what you just said, but what I can tell you that has worked, whether the person is overweight or normal weight, if they have been diagnosed with that issue, is Protandim NRF1, Protandim NRF2, open up those two genetic pathways, and then actually treat the metabolic syndrome, and diabetes at the top of the list of that, with the proprietary Omega Plus, which is a very incredible essential fatty acid formula. That is what works the quickest. It's the most efficient, and the results are long-lasting when they utilize that approach.
Thank you, sir. Another question. Dr. Vicky is asking, what is the best product? Well, you'll tell them in a minute. What is the best product and dosing for our pets?
For our pets?
Protandim.
Okay, yeah. If the dog is smaller, it's a smaller dog, then Protandim is the key. When our dog was living, and she would have eaten the whole, every tablet in the bottle, if we'd have put them on the floor and lined them up, she would have gone from one end to the other and chewed them up until they were gone. She loved them. They smell like bacon. They tasted like bacon. It's like a snack, a treat for them. They love it. But oh my God, the immediate change in that dog's physiology was unbelievable. But if it's a bigger dog, a real big dog, like some dogs are 90 to 100 pounds, then it's better to use Protandim. And sometimes a half a tablet twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. Sometimes they just give it to them one tablet at a time because it activates for 24 hours. And even horses, as big as they are, they get the same. They're a mammal. They go through oxidative stress, but there are people that use Protandim and they only deal with horses. And one tablet a day for these ailing horses with diabetes and blindness and tumors and arthritis, etc. And it works very well even for horses.
I love that. Let's see here. Raul Geiger is saying, Dr. Rich, I have been on Protandim 1 and 2 plus Omega for 3 months, and I have not seen any noticeable changes. I believe that I have heard maybe around 8 months. Everybody's body is different. You're going to answer it, doctor, but before you do, Raul, yes, everybody's body is different. All of our metabolisms are different, and it's also based on your age, your height, your weight. There are many factors to include. Also, Protandim is going to basically detoxify you at the beginning. It may take a little while for you to notice a difference, but to be honest with you, within about a couple of weeks to a month, you should notice something. May I suggest that you hydrate? And I mean that sincerely. We're nothing more but bags of water. We're 80 plus 85% water, and the rest of it is just solid material, our bones and whatnot. But I suggest that you drink a lot of water because you see the NRF1 goes to the and the NRF2, they go to the nucleus and they go to the mitochondria. And where is that found? In the human cell. And what is the human cell? Imagine it to be like a grape. It's just a grape. A grape is 90% water and a little bit of cellulose. And you're going to go from a raisin back to a grape. You're going to get plump again with water because that's what we are. We live on, we're creatures from a planet of water. We depend on that water. Our ratio of our body is the same ratio that the earth has, 80 to 20% ratio, solid to water. Water is extremely important for this product to work. I just wanted to throw that in there. Dr. Rich, what do you think he should do?
That's a great. I would. That's one of the things that I would have suggested. So that was excellent. And your comparison there with the grape and the raisin was really right on. But many times, a lot of times, Frank, what happens is, either they just forget or maybe they just want to do it that way. But I find that when I do a reevaluation and consult with a person a second time and do a review, that many times people are taking a bunch of other supplements at the same time they're taking the nutrigenomic formulas from Lifevantage. That isn't going to work. And it will cause NRF1, NRF2, and NAD and Omega or any of those not to be able to, that person will not be able to realize the results that the research suggests that they should. Well, and why? Because, you know, when we take these formulas that are made from food-based substances or their supplements, once they get into your stomach and they're digested and metabolized into the bloodstream, they are emanating or sending electrochemical charges to the cells, which are alterative. Well, if you take a bunch of supplements with NRF1, NRF2, and NAD, for example, then you're mixing a whole bunch of additional charges with the charges that are intended to activate genetic processes, and now it's no longer NRF1 or NRF2 or NAD, it's something else, and it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. So I always go over that with my people when I consult with them, and sometimes I suggest that they don't take some of them, and the ones that are okay to take, I don't take them at supper time. 6 hours, at least 6 hours, but the longer the better. Let those charges from the nutrigenomic formulas from Lifevantage get in the bloodstream and activate and do what they're supposed to do before you introduce any other charges into the body. Sometimes that person, it's diet related, and sometimes it's people that are getting results because they're not experiencing normal bowel elimination, which for me as a naturopath is at least twice a day. And some people will say to me, "Oh my God, I don't have a bowel elimination, but twice a month." Well, then that's possibly the problem. They're suffering from autointoxication or toxemia, and that is a major problem in itself. So he can feel free to contact me, and I'll go over this with him because normally there is a reason why that a person isn't experiencing what the research says that they should, and I'll be more than happy to help you.
I agree. We're down to 5 minutes, Doctor. Let's see if we can rapid fire some of these questions. Patriot Mawa is asking, are there any discount codes for your channel, Frank? Well, no, but this product, if you order it on a one-time basis, it is a certain price. But if you order it on a monthly basis, it's cheaper. So there's your code. If you want to order it every month, it'll be a discounted thing. Also, if you want to be a distributor, you'll get it every month, and it is cheaper. So that answers that question. Next one is this stuff in pill, liquid, or tablet form? Liz wants to know.
Yes, and yes. It depends on what the formula is. The collagen formula is a liquid. Many of them are capsules. The Omega Plus is a small gel cap. And NRF2 is a tablet. It's not a large tablet, but it is a tablet. So it's a combination of all three.
Sounds good. I really like this stuff. I suffer from losing weight, and I'm a borderline diabetic. This is good information. Isadora, feel free to call us or call. Hook you up with Dr. Rich if you want to talk with him as well too. Let's see. Do you have any products that address tinnitus, the ringing in the ear?
Well, believe it or not, a lot of times that's a gut biome issue because of the direct relationship with the gut and the brain. But, inside the ears, it's cells. They may be damaged, but there are a lot of little capillaries in there. And if you don't have the bloodstream's 90% water, and if you don't have enough water in there, it's going to constrict around a small volume. And if it's in the capillaries and it's in the ear area, and you constrict that, you're going to be able to hear that fluid pumping through there. And so drink a little bit of extra water, and then depending on the age, we need to do a little bit of activating of genetic processes and look and see what they're eating, and is bowel elimination an issue? I always go back to that, but wow, as for a naturopath, that's a big deal. You got to eliminate today what you ate yesterday. But I've had lots and lots and lots of people that overcame what they're calling tinnitus, and we have a method to do it. I would just need to speak with that person for just a little bit, get a little background, and then I can share what others have done.
Roger that. We're down to a couple of questions here. By the way, that was George Dale. George, is that you?
Yeah.
That is George, our friend George. George, tomorrow, as you heard Dr. Rich say, that it is a gut issue, and I tend to agree with him. Tomorrow, we will be doing our last UB2B for this week, and it will be on colostrum. I highly suggest you come and listen. Colostrum is the very first thing you put on to your lips. It's mother's milk. And that colostrum is what establishes the E. coli bacteria, the Pseudomonas bacteria, the proper bacteria that belongs in your intestine in order to digest food. Unfortunately, we have a lot of bad bacteria. For example, like Candidus bacteria is so prominent because it loves to eat glutens. And what do we eat almost every day of our lives? Glutens, bread and pizza and cookies. So anyways, doctor, how about just one more question here? Just restart beta cells in the pancreas. Now, hold on, doctor, hold on, because I noticed that we're having a bad reception. Boom, we're back. So the question is, doctor, will this restart the beta cells in the pancreas?
That's a really good question. Listen to the question. Will it activate? Will it regenerate or restart? However they said it. Beta cells.
I say yes.
Cells. The human body is made up of cells.
Bingo.
So what does this approach do with NRF2 transcription factor and Protandim NRF2
Right.
and all of that research? It activates the cells and increases gene expression. And if the cells in the pancreas are damaged, that's recognized and they're repaired. Frank, we've had people, and we'll talk about this the last 2 times, that were going to kidney dialysis. That's a major issue with the pancreas not functioning. And within a short period of time, through activation of the 3 genetic pathways, they no longer went because their pancreas was working very, very well. And many times they call back and report to us, I am now I love this term, a non-diabetic. And one person said, I'm now normal, whatever that is. Oh, boy, I'm not normal. Well, ask my wife, I'm not normal. So anyhow, with all that,
I can answer that.
Yep. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Now, Dr. Steve, we've only talked 1 or 2 times, and it was wonderful. So we don't want to interfere with that good relationship by entering in with Will and what he's doing there. So, at any rate, I already said it, I'm not normal.
I was going to say you were superhuman, actually.
Okay, well, and I don't know what I am, but I'm blessed and highly favored, and I love serving the Lord, love teaching people how to take control of their health, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to get to know Dr. Steve and his wife a lot better, and to work with him. The two of us work together because, oh my goodness, I could use all the help I could get, but he, amen, with his background and his knowledge, he's going to be able to help the masses. And Dr. Steve, oh wow, it's so wonderful to get to know you and to be introduced to you, and it's going to be wonderful working together in the future.
And I should look forward. Can I interject something before we? Do I have a minute?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
You brought up the intestinal tract, the colon. We have, on the average, of 28 feet of intestinal tract. Over time, the intestinal tract gets impacted by old fecal matter and so on and so forth. So yes, it is vital to clear out the intestinal tract by flooding it with good flora and fauna and all of that, good bacteria. It is imperative to do that. I wrote an article years ago. It's called Death Begins in the Colon. And that is so true. Because if you have all of that, you're not absorbing the nutrients through the intestinal walls. And that's very important that you do that. So the products that we've got will help to do all of that. You have to flood it. And Frank brought up Candida. Candida albicans used to be called yeast cancer. And when I did autopsies, I'm looking at what damage that does. And it is horrible. It's very fast spreading. It craves sugars and glutens, and that is so important to keep that clean. And something else, lastly, you brought up, Dr. Rich, you brought up the death sentences that the medical field gives people. That is something that I have to work. I'm like a cheerleader for people that I help. That's one thing that I have to overcome. You have to realize there is no timestamp put on us. We take care of ourselves, but overcoming that sentence, that psychological disadvantage that are given these patients is horrible. And that's something that, to me, is unconscionable. Nobody should be able to pass a death sentence on somebody. But, one more thing, and then I'm going to shut up. Something that people do, they procrastinate with their health. You've got to take a hold of your health. Do it now, not waiting. Not let's see what happens to my friend. Let's see if he improves before I start. And that's something that a lot of people do. They procrastinate on their health. Without your health, you don't have anything. Without your health, when this blessing comes through, you're not going to be able to enjoy it the way you want to. So, take care of your health. And what Dr. Rich has, and Will has, and Frank has, and including me now, we're here to help you. So God bless all of you. And I'm going to be quiet.
Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Frankie. If I may,
Give out
interject, and then I'm going to get out of here.
Give out your phone number.
Family, you've heard about two different things this evening. You've heard about the new product coming out October the 11th. A lot of people have already texted me or called me or emailed me and asked me to get on the VIP, and I've sent them over some information about that new product. So if you want to get on that VIP, it's free. Go ahead and text me at 910-690-6008. Just say Frank VIP, and we'll get it over to you. If you prefer email, always saving77@gmail.com, and you just say Frank's VIP, and I'll send it over to you. Also, if you're interested in the Protandim products, just text, call, or write. If you need to talk to Dr. Rich, call, text, or write. I'll be happy to get you in touch with him immediately. We've been responding to those requests very, very quickly. Most of them same day. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to say God bless Dr. Steve, Dr. Rich, and FRANK26 for letting us come over. And we'll talk to you guys next month.
I want to thank you, Dr. Rich. I want to thank our doctor that came as a guest speaker tonight. I want to thank Will. Robert just posted NRF2 works. I work in Florida heat, and it's very physical work at 63 years old, and I am very pleased with its results. I'm glad to hear that, Robert. I'm glad to hear that because that's what we want to do. We just want to help people with these products, and I tell you, I know it's making quite a difference. Thank you for being with us tonight, family. Tomorrow, I will be with you at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. Our product will be colostrum. Colostrum, that's mother's milk. That's what you need in order to establish your immune system. I have some amazing testimonies to share with you tomorrow on that. That's the end of our product, and now we walk into the second part of our study, and the second part has already been given. The first part of what I'm about to do, and by the way, everything that I'm about to express to you is just strictly in my opinion. And in the first 10 minutes of our program, I talked to you already. And I set the stage up, right? For those of you that were with me, you saw what I read to you. You saw what I said to you. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you what our teams are telling us, and you'll be able to have a better understanding of those articles that I read to you and why they're out. So with that in mind, let's see if we can find yesterday was yesterday. I was with you on Monday, so yesterday was, here it is. No, that's Monday. That there's Monday. So, and here we go, starting with yesterday. So it turns out that Eddie is telling me, hey, Mr. Frank, Sammy and Eddie, now this is my contact, Neil. Sammy and Eddie just sent a message. They watched your television program last night. They all gathered around and they were listening to you very carefully. They wanted to see what you were going to say about that guru that was stealing your stuff. And they want me to say that it was 1000% excellent. They are so thankful that you brought up the situation. And let everyone know there's more television commercials today, which I don't think I'm going to share with you yet. I already told you there'd be commercials. I already told you what they're going to say. We've already shown you the commercials that they did last week. Now these commercials, I'm going to just hold on, but I want to reiterate that our friends out there were telling us, like we said to you on Monday, there are some bad people on the internet that are causing me to go away. They're irresponsible. And now it got my teams in Iraq in trouble with their bank officers. Well, apparently they didn't get in trouble, but they got reprimanded. And I'm not about to allow that to happen again. So with that said, everything is in premium. Everything is in Club 26. Premium just has more definition. Premium is where I go in there and I talk. Club 26 gets everything that's in premium. I just don't go in there and talk. Now, with that in mind, this is the second report from yesterday. Mr. Frank, we have Sudani on the television, and he's talking about the meeting that he had yesterday. Well, many citizens are upset right now that we have not received our salaries. They taught us about it. We used our cards. We went to the bank. We did everything they told us, and yet the federal court even gave orders to pay the citizens because it's their constitutional right. They're even saying we will have a large protest on the 25th. Now, family, it's not a protest, but that's the word that they used with me. But you're going to see what it really is as I talk to you, okay? How many? Oh, only 700 people. Isn't that interesting? So be it. So they showed us everything about our pay. We used the cards to get our pay. And now we don't see anything. But the federal court came out and they said, hey, you got to give their citizens, it's a constitutional right. They even say that it will be a large protest on the 25th. But then when we said that, Sudani came out and he spoke again and he mentioned that they are in the completion phase of the ACL. And to us, to us, we know that needs a rate. So they know they're going to be receiving purchasing power. They know they're going to be receiving their pay. They know what those cards are for. They know about digitalization. They know about international transfers. They know everything that their banks are doing because there's only a few of them that they can go to now. And now it turns out that they, enough is enough. Yeah, I know, Eddie, I know. Eddie, it's within this year, you know that. Yeah, Mr. Frank, but we want it now. They promised us. All right, what are you going to do? We're going to protest. Don't protest, Eddie. You go out there. Here, this is what I did. So, and Sudani comes out and he tells us that, he mentions that we are in the completion phase of the HCL. And we know that the HCL needs a rate. Sudani said the payments would be through the electronic cards, not cash. Now, we think that's because cash would give us 1310, but through the card. Oh, what the heck. Everything I'm saying to you is just strictly in my opinion, okay? Strictly in my opinion, okay? So with that in mind, Sudani's telling them that the payments would be through the electronic cards. I'm not going to give you cash. And then Eddie says, well, the reason he's not going to give us cash, Mr. Frank, is because that would be at 1310. But the new cards, we think it's going to be with the new rate. Mr. Frank, what do you think? Are our cards established with the new rate, or are they still using 13 on it? I don't understand this. That's why we're going to go out on the 25th. And let me forward a little bit here. Let's pick up right here. So this is another report from yesterday. Alok is on the TV now. Is he, Eddie? Yeah, Alok is on TV now. Alok on TV now. And he says, listen, even with the low oil prices, low, we are stable. For real? Yeah. So even with the low oil prices, we are very stable, and inflation in our country is low because we have strong reserves. I know. And all is good and we have non-oil revenues efficient enough now to also contribute. You don't have a Dutch disease in your country? No. You don't count on just one thing? No. Everybody thinks you do. Too bad. We got a lot of stuff, Frank. Oil is just one of them. But I just, I'm the governor of the CBI. And they hear the citizens, give me. But we want to let them know, look, it's all set, okay? You can see we don't have inflation. And as far as the oil prices, just because they're going down, we're still going to give you what we promised. Just chill. Hold on. All right. Next report. It turns out that on November the 20th to the 21st, we have a curfew for the very first census in the last 27 years. You're going to learn more about this as I read to you, which is where I start now. And here we go now. My reports to him, which are long. It's good to see what Apple is doing in Iraq, Eddie, because your phones are going to be very important in the monetary reform process. You can already see how the banks are. You didn't redact it. You can already see how the banks are communicating with you. All of this that I'm saying is just strictly my opinion. I am glad that Mr. Sammy and Eddie had a chance to watch our program last night. And I am glad that he heard me say that I trust Mr. Sammy and I respect him. I was very saddened when Mr. Sammy's heart was broken by the evil guru on the internet that is abusing the material that he's sending us. I have asked my listening audience to avoid people like that. Eddie, I do not know this for a fact. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so we're just going to... Eddie, I do not know this for a fact, but I agree with you totally that your cards, they are based on a new exchange rate. It just makes no sense for them to be based on a restricted program rate, right? Because nothing else would make sense. Well, Mr. Frank, again, can you find out for us if they are? Also, now they say that they are still looking. Okay. And also, Mr. Frank, we are still looking for the budget that's missing. To which I said, Eddie, I just talked to Walking Stick about your cards. And about Walking Stick, about your new cards, are they based on the new exchange rate? Yes, Eddie. In my opinion. What do I know? What, 790 people? What do I know, huh? Oh, boy. Sending, that's... Oh, and then he says, I said to him, yeah, the Walking Stick said that it was. And he says, I'm sending, Frank. And you know what? That's what they believe, too. And then he goes on, they are saying that they are going to pay us the salaries on the new cards before the scheduled protests on the 25th. Let's see if that happens. Well, Eddie, if they do, that's going to disclose a lot of information for us. To which I said, the 25th, huh? Whatever. Frank, citizens are getting tired, and they want their money, and we will protest. We will protest with solder on the 25th. We're going to get out in the streets. To which I said, "Hey Eddie, I'm going to put on my dancing shoes and I'm going to come on over and join you in your march there." Mr. Frank, we welcome you with open arms. We can use you over here. By the way, Alak is on TV saying that the price of oil dropping has nothing at all to do with the high exchange rates. Poor Alak, man. Yeah, relax, just relax, okay? To which I say, that's an interesting statement from him, Eddie, because your exchange rate is very low right now, isn't it? Yeah, Mr. Frank, he's not talking about our exchange rate. He's talking about the dollar exchange rate. Ah, well, okay. Again, Eddie, that's interesting because the dollar is not used in your country. You don't buy with it. You don't sell with it. You don't buy oil with it or sell it with it. Iraq any longer. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just interpreting his words. Okay. Okay. Eddie says Allah is again. The poor guy. He came out like I don't know, maybe like 7 to 10 times. Eddie says Allah is talking now again on TV. Now, Allah still talking. I said, okay, then a few hours later, Allah is still talking about all the transfers are subject to audit. And then he talked again that the oil price drops have nothing to do with the high exchange. He told us that the audits are necessary for what is about to be given to us to make sure that everything is in its proper place. And he keeps talking about the dollar exchange rate to us. To which I then say, Eddie, he's just trying to reassure you that the American dollar is, I would listen real careful to this. Hi, Monica. Welcome. Eddie, he's just trying to reassure you that the American dollar is not coming back in any way, shape, or form into your country unless it's being used by their government or travel or medicine. You see, your currency is the future, and its new exchange rate has been a success. That's why you are about to explode with your economic reforms. By the way, Eddie, I'm not sure if you saw that there is a new census that is being done, which he did. Apparently, Article 140 was suffice for the HCL to give you your oil and mineral rights, but only up to a certain point. So it looks like Sudani has ordered for this new census to occur for your HCL benefits as Iraqi citizens. Now, Eddie, it seems to me that the only reason he's doing it now is because you have a new exchange rate that they can work with. If not, you wouldn't have all of this new census. There wouldn't be a new census. They used Article 4 to establish the HCL. Now they're going to use a new census as they determine the fair amount that everyone is supposed to get. This new census, in my opinion, screams that there is a new exchange rate that has to be taken very seriously and has to be protected very seriously. Eddie reported that the census, in my opinion, the census is done. Frank, Eddie says that they're going to the streets with solder on the 25th. Eddie says this, and we will hit the streets in millions. We will hit the streets, in millions. And we will do this weekly until we are paid, starting the 25th. Sauder has organized this, and we will back him for our constitutional rights. Eddie, stay with Sauder. He's a good man. He's a good leader, and he will not do anything violent. Make sure you don't protest. This is so important because you will retard the whole monetary reform process for you. Eddie. Oh, Frank. Eddie says, we know there's got to be a new rate coming, and we're going to help speed this up. Eddie says, we know there's a new exchange rate, doggone it. So we're going to go out in the streets and we're going to march, a million-man march, and we're going to tell them, gimme! So we know there's got to be a new rate coming, and we're going to help speed this up. It's getting ridiculous. We are struggling. We see all these new contracts with other countries. Hi, Duke. Thank you, Duke. Anybody wants to help us with walking stick? We desperately need help. Yeah, I need help this week. We are struggling. It's ridiculous. We're struggling. All these new contracts with other countries and companies. This has to be done with some type of a parameter of a new rate, don't you think, Mr. Frank? They're not doing this at a program rate. This is what you taught us. And then the digital banking that will keep Iran from stealing, and the new lending. Boy, this guy's really good. This guy's, yeah. You see, it's not a secret. That will keep Iran from stealing, and the new lending procedures approved by our government for banks must have a new rate to fully be beneficial. So we are waiting to know, and we are waiting now. We are waiting now. Stop and do something for us citizens, please, now, and taking to the streets on the 25th. Hi, Ian Moreland. Thank you. Ian Moreland. Thank you. We know. So us citizens now, and we're taken to the streets on the 25th. And each week We're going to come out and do these marches until, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, Eddie. Brilliant. Mr. Sammy, if you're watching, brilliant. Sammy, join them. Mr. Sammy, so we're going to go out every week after the 25th until they give us our money. Until done. Mr. Sammy says, they already told us in a new Yeah, everything I tell you is just in my opinion. I already told you this. I think, I'm almost sure. I don't remember half the stuff I tell you, family. There's just so much that goes on every day with me. We're going to take the streets every week until it's done. They give us our money. Mr. Sammy says, they already told us in the news conference on television last week that after the end of this year, but we are sending Sudani. Excuse me. You see, this is the wrong word. That's sending. Oh, keeping. How do you get keeping out of that? This is all righty. But we are, let me start over again. Mr. Sammy says they already told us in a news conference and TV last week that after the end of this year, but we are I think it's we are taking Sudani to his word after the end of this year is not this year. He promised us a new rate this year. That's why we're going out every week to tell him, give us what you promised us. To which then I said, Eddie, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I encourage you. And I wish I could be with you, be a part of this weekly march. I also like the word march instead of the word protesting. You already know that the promise has been made to you for purchasing power. You already know about your cards and what they can do for you now. And what they can do for you. You already know these cards have the new exchange rate on it. Everything I'm saying to you is strictly my opinion. You already know these cards have the new exchange rate on it. You already know Sudani told you you're going to have purchasing power this year. You already know the HCL is now being brought back to life with a brand new census. You already know the truth to many things, Eddie. And I can see that you fully understand what's going on. And yeah, I support you in what you're going to do with Solder. So yes, Eddie, I encourage you to go out every week with Solder and tell Sudani, we're sick and tired of waiting, sir. Give us what you promised us. Give us what you promised us, but keep in mind, Eddie, he's talking about this year. I know that the wording sounded for next year, but remember, everyone else is talking about next year. Even Parliament now is saying it. But only Sudani told you twice already this year. So be careful. Push it too much when you go out into the streets. Make it peaceful. Make it peaceful. Make your signs to say complimentary things about Sudani instead of negative things. Tell him how much you appreciate what he is about to do. Basically, approach him with reverse psychology. Don't go out there with a bad attitude. And then I continue and I say to him, Eddie, look, make your signs white with red letters. And make the lettering red and put on your signs new exchange rate. On another sign, put lower notes. On another sign, put thank you, Sudani. On another sign, put thank you, Allah. On another sign, say thank you, God. Basically, Eddie, be organized in this march. Make it positive. Send a message to Sudani that you understand what you are required of in this monetary reform. You have brought in as many zeros as you can. You are using the cards the way they told you to. You are going to the banks. You are watching the commercials. Make this a positive march every week until they give it to you, Eddie. Do you understand, guys? Reverse psychology, okay. But we are at the point where you're going to be receiving this. You don't want to sound ungrateful. Go out into the streets, Eddie, and let it be known to Sudani and Allah. Dude, what's up, man? How much more time? You said by this year, Sudani. In fact, put that on a sign, Eddie. You said this year purchasing power. Put that on the sign. We are going, okay. Now the rest I can't read to you because this is logistics and whatever. So, yeah, there you go, family. I'm sorry, well, this time I only took 30 minutes. Monday, I took an hour to talk to you. I'll be with you tomorrow. We will have a colostrum. It builds your immune system. We're about ready to walk into the winter, fall and winter. This is when you get sick. Colostrum will build your immune system, and it built mine. I'm going to love telling you some stories about it tomorrow. Please join me tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then when we're done, we'll share with you a little something. What will I share with you? Well, for example, I think it's important that you start to study this. Can you read that? Yeah, you can, can't you? And basically, it is the new tax code for what? Foreign currency and currency exchange rates. Oh, that's me. Yeah. So I would tell you that you would want to start to understand the tax code that you're going to be involved with. Now, I'm not going to teach it to you. I'm going to show you where you can go and get information. I'm going to tell you that you're going to get, I hope you don't have a bookkeeper. Any pencil pusher can do that. You need a CPA. You need an IRS tax agent. You need a tax lawyer. You need a team, like I told you. We'll talk about this tomorrow a little bit. Tomorrow also we'll, in fact, oh, why not? Would you like a bank story to say goodbye with? Or should I wait until tomorrow? What are they saying? No, Frank, we don't want no story. What's the matter with you? Richie says no. Kyle says no. Michelle reads, no, please, no. Linda says no. You see, there's one. Karen says maybe no, I don't know. AE says it's possible. All right, here's one that I found interesting. It's a short and quick one, to the point. Let's see if I can hide it up here. Hi, Mr. Frank. Good evening. I just wanted to share something with you in reference to the Iraqi dinar that happened to me today. And by the way, for the person that sent me this, thank you. I spoke to a manager at a foreign exchange store in Miami, Florida. And they told me that they are trading the Iraqi dinar. The rate is very low. It's at 0.000625, okay. But they told me it is now international. Really, they told you that? Yeah. Then you got some people that are at least good students. That's good. They'll normally deny it. They say it's on the OFAC list. And they also said to me that They are expecting the revaluation, the RV. Well, they're innocent because it's not an RV. The RV has already occurred years ago. What we're going through right now is an RI. It's a reinstatement. But who cares? So they also said that they are expecting they're expecting the RV. Oh no, did I show the phone number? I hope not. Don't bother this person. They also said they are expecting the revaluation, the RV, and that hopefully it is very soon. So I am very happy that the Iraqi dinar is trading internationally now. Yeah, I am too, because that is what is going to allow them to float. We know that everything up to the float is done. Listen carefully. We know that everything up to the float is done. So to make it international will take you from the float to the rear. I want to thank you for being with me. God bless you all. Tomorrow we'll talk about more things. If you can help me with walking stick, it means the world to me. Hey, George, if you're still with me, my brother George Dale, tomorrow I'll be doing colostrum. Yeah, you might want to hear it because that might help you, brother. What else is there to say? Maybe I'll show you this when we get together. When we get together tomorrow, maybe we'll talk about, and I'll share this. And what that is I don't think you can even read that, can you? Bummer. It's a beautiful video, and it's showing the new card distribution for citizens in Iraq, 2024 commercial ATM bank, and it goes on and on. But this is what the citizens are doing. They've been issued their cards. They went to the bank and they got them. And now they're learning what to do with those cards. They're going to get their salary. You think the salary is based on a program rate? In my opinion, do you think that those cards are based on a program rate? In my opinion, I already told you, no. Thank you kindly for being with me. God bless you all. I leave you in peace. I leave you with my song, if that's okay. Are there any...
Did you thank them?
Oh, no, I didn't. I want to thank Rebecca Hill. God bless you. Thank you for helping Walking Stick. I saw that. Duke, Ian Moreland, and Carla. Carla, thank you so much for helping us financially. If anyone can help us, my phone with Walking Sticks Medicine, my phone number is 419-283-2552. Take it to God in prayer. See what the Holy Spirit says if you want to help. If you can, we appreciate you. Hey, God bless you. Take care of each other. Pray for each other. Visit each other. Respect each other. Love each other. And I will be with you again, God willing, tomorrow night. But for right now, I say goodbye to you by playing the FRANK26 song. Please enjoy. Bye-bye.
I used to be a dinar newbie until I watched Frank's UB2B with a twinkle in his eyes and God by his side. Frank's teachings reaches far and wide. So whenever I need a dinar fix, I tune into Frank at 26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the streets. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the dinar beat. Now take it from me, Frank is no rookie. It's okay, give this man a cookie. You never know what suit he'll be wearing, so I wear my sunglasses because they are so glaring. So whenever I need a dinar fix, I tune into Frank's 26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the streets. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the dinar beat. Sit up, be patient, and get ready. Frank's got some news from Walking Stick and Eddie. Frank breaks down the news and keeps us straight. Come on, Iraq, Can you give us the rate? So whenever I need a dinar fix, I tune into Frank26. He's got the latest, greatest news from the streets. Tune in now, tune in here, this is the dinar beat. Hey Tink, I need a cookie.
How many thumbs up did you get?
Come on Tink, I deserve some
1,000.
cookies.
No,
Cookies,
I don't think so.
Cookie,
cookies.
You can have one.
cookies. Come on Tink, give up the cookies.
Woo! God bless you all. Thank you kindly for being with us. Sweet aloha. See you tomorrow at 6. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Good call.
It's a good call. They're like, yeah, because they know there's another whole 3, 4, 5 pages here that we're going to share tomorrow. Maybe. Let me see. How many people came? 700? Wow. This experiment is working. Yeah, all the bad people are disappearing.